You're watching Masters in Trading Live with Jonathan Rose.
Guys, there's a secret hidden in the market that all professionals use to spot big moves. And what I'm talking about is unusual options activity. The options market, unlike the equity markets, are 100% or 110% transparent. In options trading, unlike stock trading, there's no block trades. When you do a block trade in stock trading, there's a 15-minute delay before those trades are reported to the exchange. Options are 110% transparent. No games at all. That's why professionals follow the biggest trades in the market, and that's what we call unusual options activity. Guys, my name is Jonathan Rose. I got the chat open. I want to welcome everybody to today's show, Masters in Trading Live. I'm on here every day the market's open, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Go over the market, share some thoughts. Once in a while, we'll share our trade of the day. Guys, I'm going to get right into it today because I've got 3 powerful examples of unusual options activity. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Let's get to it. Here we go, guys. We're going to start right here because this is our unusual options activity scanner. And our unusual option activity scanner, we call it advance notice. Every single day, advance notice reports to us what the most unusual trades in the market are. So Tuesday, July 29th, today is Wednesday, the most unusual trades in the market was this list. We can go back and see Mondays, Fridays, Thursdays, Wednesdays, Tuesdays, Monday. But I want to show you why we care about these trades so much. This company, Serpent, Sarepta Therapeutics, SBET, KNSA. We have a solar company, Irene, Tiger, Galaxy. You'll notice these are not the most common names in the market, right? We're not looking at NVIDIA and Microsoft and Apple. Why? Because there's no edge for traders in those big names. But a name really stood out to me on this list because I never heard of it. KNSA, KNSA, small company, right? KNSA, never even heard of it. All of a sudden, KNSA pops up in our unusual options activity scanner. Something is weird. So here, if I go and I click KNSA, it'll take me to this screen, and this screen will show me what the orders were. The orders that we picked up were October 30 strike calls. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, they did 5,000 of these calls. Now, 5,000 calls might not be a very big position in NVIDIA, in Microsoft, in SMCI, but in KNSA, in a weird pharmaceutical that I've been trading since 1997, and I've never even heard of this name, all of a sudden to see 5,000 options trade, wow, somebody must know something. That's what I'm thinking. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So let's look at the options. Here's the options of KNSA, symbol KNSA. I took this screenshot right before I got on here. Last trade, $30.64. The order that we found was this thing. Gnarly, gnarly, gnarly order. Now, why is this such a big deal, guys? I wrote it out. 5,000 options. One option gives you the right, but not the obligation, to control 100 shares of stock, right? So when Mr. King Kong comes in here and does 5,000 options, and then we times it by 100 because each option is worth 100 shares, we get 500,000 shares of stock. Now, 500,000 shares of stock is not a big deal in NVIDIA. 5,000 shares of stock is not a big deal in Microsoft, but 5,000 shares of stock. Let me pull up a live market right now, because let's look at KNSA overall volume for the day. Whoa. Whoa. The market's been open for 2 hours. 200,000 shares have traded. 200,000 shares have traded. So this order right here, I'm going to move this. This order right here, once in the money, and it's in the money, is worth double the overall volume. When I actually took it, it was 70,000. So 500,000 shares of stock. That's a big deal. Somebody is making a very big speculative bet, and we need to give them the benefit of the doubt that they know more than we do. Is that too hard to do? It's us being humble. When we see a big order like this, we say, you know what? I never heard of this stock. But if somebody's coming in there and 5,000, this trade is over $1 million of risk, we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they know more than us. So this is a cool example of unusual option activity. It's an illiquid stock, so it's not something I can potentially share, but KNSA, I am bullish this stock. This name will trade higher, in my very strong opinion. Does anybody have any questions about KNSA? Because I'm going to go into reasons why it might trade higher. Now, there's really no options to do because it's not very liquid, but I did some research and I wanted to try to figure out, why would somebody do such an order? So here we go. KNSA, looking forward, here are the catalysts. It doesn't have a ton of big catalysts coming up, but we do have, obviously, earnings releases, analyst revisions. Analysts may upgrade after they're led because they just had some really big guidance. But the big trial, mid-2025, we don't have a date on it, but they will start their phase 2 in the second part of 2025. Maybe that's the reason they're doing the trade. I don't know. But I do know somebody is making a hearty bet that KNSA trades higher. Just going to look at the questions real quick. Enrique, regarding unusual option activity, are market makers compelled to open any trade? So a market maker, that's a good question. Let me show you. Good question, Enrique. Richard, I'll get to your question in a second. It's 5,000. The way that it laid out, it was 5,000, 5,001, 5,002, 5,003. That's why it was like that, Richard. A market maker. Okay, let's go to a different name. What should we look at? Let's look at, doesn't really matter. Let's look at MP. Here's a market maker. They're $4 at 420, $220 at 235, 165 at 180. They're 15 cents wide, 20 cents wide, and they're willing to do a trade on either side. Market makers are willing to do trades on either side of the market. I'm going to press on, guys. I got another really, really cool example. Here's a stock called Galaxy. And Galaxy, I think it's Galaxy Digital. Galaxy Digital. I noticed unusual option activity in Galaxy Digital. Now look. Get Mr. Penn. All of July. $23 million of call flow, $72,000 of put flow. What do you think is going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, July 1st is right there. Need I say anything more? Professionals follow unusual option activity. Learn to follow the biggest orders in the room, and you'll have great success. Galaxy, again, 23 million in call buying, only 72,000 in put flow. Look at that stock. It goes from 18 all the way up to 32. And you know what? Here's the last one because we're seeing it recently, yesterday, in Snap. Snap, social media company. I'm guessing none of us use it because only kids use it. I have high school kids. They use Snap all the time. We don't use it. Maybe people will use it in the future. I don't know. But what I do know is Snap, $6.2 million in call buying, not a lot of put flow. I would bet that Snap is going to trade higher from here. AUM framing on July 25th, Galaxy handled the biggest Bitcoin sale ever. So that's cool. By the way, I didn't even know that, but we find this through the options. We were looking at Galaxy going back to the beginning of the month. And the reason that we're looking at it is we want what's real. I always say we don't want to trade off the subjective. We don't want to trade off technical analysis. We want to trade off the objective. What's the objective? The objective, Galaxy, $23 million in call flow. All that news is secondary. The markets move because of call flow, put flow, unusual option activity. We have our challenge opened up. The challenge is going to be investorplace.com/challenge 2025. Roger says, welcome to the greatest trading community in the world. Roger, thank you. And Snowman, how is he going to possibly explain to his wife? He started with 4,000 and now his account is over 30,000. That is insane. When we have good trades, we celebrate with a glockenspiel. All right, my friends, for everybody in our all access, you guys hang tight. I'll be right back. We always get off of the free portion, and then with our all access, we'll go over some of our active portfolio. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Give a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys live tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time. All right, all access. We'll be right back. Hey friends. Okay guys, what I always do is I hop off the free vision. We're also live, so when I goof, I goof.